Welcome back to Shadcn. This is the 18th part of Shadcn UI series with Next.js. In the last video, we covered how to use the hover card of Shadcn UI. And today we are going to look at the input component. We will see what it is, how to install it, and how to use it. We will try all of the provided examples on their website one by one. So input basically displays a form input field or a component that looks like an input field. So this is the basic and simplest version of the input component. And if you click on that, you would just notice this is simple input with border. And if we look at the code, this is the simplest version of it. You just need to import the input component from the components/UI/input path. And installation is also straightforward. So just copy this command and go back to your project and open the terminal and paste the command. Okay. Also, I will open a new terminal so that I could start it in a browser. So for that, run the command npm run dev. Okay, the project is started. Now click on this link that would open your application in the browser. All right. So let's look at what it has created for us. Here it is saying that one deprecated sub dependencies found, that is node DOM exception. Okay, for now you can ignore it, but main thing is that it has created a file that is input.tsx. It is saying that it has skipped that file because it was there already. But if you did not make any change, then it would skip. And if you make any change, then it will ask your confirmation that if you want to keep it or if you want to replace it. So as it is identical what they have currently on their server, so that's why it did not ask for the replacement. So if you have make any change, then you have to run this command very carefully and you have to select the right option, because if you select to overwrite or replace, then all of your changes in your input component would be lost. So now let's go to our input.tsx file. Let me show you where it is located. It is basically generated inside the component/UI folder and the file name is input.tsx. So this is all what we got from the command. It is just a simple input tag from HTML with some Tailwind CSS classes. So if you want to make any change, you are feel free to make adjustments in these classes. So before making any change, let's quickly try it in our main page.tsx file. So here I'm just going to delete all of that and add input like that, and make sure to import the input component from this and save it. Now if you check, this is the input. Currently it is taking the full width, so I'm going to fix it by adding a div around it, and here I will add some classes like flex, and width should be limited like 100 pixels. This is the input. Let me bring it in the middle. I need to add the margin m-auto to bring it in the middle. Okay, you can see it is currently in the middle without any placeholder. That's why it is hard to see, but this is the input. You can type. Let me increase the width of it, maybe 400 pixels. Okay, now it is looking better. And if you go back to the original example, it has the placeholder as well, and adding placeholder is also very straightforward, like we add in any regular input tag. So just add it. Now you can see placeholder has been added. Okay. After that, we have followed this step already. We have imported it and added the input component. Next example is the default one that we already have tried. After that, we have an example of a file. So this would become a file picker for us. So in order to see how it is working, just go to the code, and here it has just few classes, a label, and input type is file. So let's just copy all of this and replace it with that. And now just look at this. This is the div with some Tailwind CSS classes, and we have the label. Label is also coming from the Shadcn UI, so make sure you have it available. And if you don't have it available, you can just go to the label component and follow the instruction to install it. So you just need to run this command to install the label. Okay. All right. And here we have the HTML for and ID. These two should match. Otherwise, if you click on text for the input, it would not trigger the file selector. Anyways, save it, and we must have to make it default export because this is a Next.js project. Now it is working. Let me wrap it in a div again. Okay, I brought it in the middle again, and you can see it is looking exactly same like in their example here. So if I click anywhere inside this box, the file picker would be opened. Okay, you can see file picker has been opened. So in this way you can make it work, and if you pick any file, it will show the name of the file in this way. After that, we have an example where you can disable an input. So you just need to add disabled here, true, and your input would look like this. You will not be able to click on that and it would gray out. And after that, you can also add a remove label. We already have added the label. You can keep it or remove it depending on your needs. Then we can also add a button that would look like this. So these are very simple examples, but make your layout very nice and decent. So let's add all of these elements in our project, paste it. Now it is saying button is not available. So make sure to add the import statement for the button. And if you are using the button component for the first time in this project, then make sure you install the button component by following this documentation from this link. Okay, we already have covered how to install and use it. You can watch my other videos. All right, now if you open it, this is how it is going to look like. This is looking much better and decent. After that, you can also use the input with forms. So if you click on the submit, it would show the validation errors like this. Okay, so this is looking pretty neat and good. So if we, let me actually copy paste this entire thing, copy it and paste it here. And if you go there, we have to add the default on the export once again here, export default function. And we have this error, use toast. In case if you see this error, then you have to fix the path. For me, the use toast is available in a different path that is available in the /hooks/use dash. Okay, now you can see it is working. Let me fix its width. For that, I will wrap it again in a div. Okay, now you can see it is vertically and horizontally in the middle, and you can now type anything and it will show you the submitted data on the bottom. And if you keep it empty, then you will see the validation error. And if we look at the validation, how they made it. So first they use the Zod. If you don't have the Zod installed, then you have to install it first from the npm. And once you have it, you will call the object and you will pass up the properties to that object, which you will consider as the input fields. So we have only one field, that is username, that will have validation rules that it should be string and the length should be minimum 2 characters, and the error message would be this that we have defined here. Okay, and then we have created and exported the input form component, and then we use the use form hook from the React hook form library, and we have specified the type of the fields that we are going to use, and we are inferring or extracting the types from the form schema that we created with the help of the Zod. So that is the benefit of using Zod, that you can extract the types, the TypeScript types from the schema that you will create. So in this way you will avoid rewriting. So you already have written the fields and their rules, so we should have the types available out of the box. So that is what it is doing, and that is very time saving. And then we have resolver that is being passed with the help of the Zod resolver, and we have passed it the schema, and then we are passing it the default value. So for example, here if you add a text and if you reload it, you would notice that the value would be there by default because we have specified it here. Okay, and then we have the on submit function. So as soon as this function is called, whenever you will click, you will submit, this function would be executed, and you will get the data in the parameter, and we will show a toast, and in that toast we are showing the title, then we are showing the description, and the description has a pre tag, and within that we are showing the stringified version of the data object. After that we are returning this div, and within that div we have a form tag, and then we have the regular form, we have to spread the form in this way to pass all of the properties or props or any attributes that are available in the form would be spreaded on this and would be passed into this component. And then we have the form tag that has the on submit event. As soon as the form is submitted, this event would be triggered and we will call a function that is returning the that is being returned with the help of the handle submit. Okay, so we just passed it the on submit function. So as soon as the form is submitted, our on submit function would be submitted automatically and it will be getting the data of the form. And within that form, we have only one field. For every form field, we will have to go through this process. We need to create the form field, then we will add a control, form.control on it, then we will have to give it a name prop, and then we have to add the render prop and pass it a callback function that would return the item that we would like to render within this form field. We would like to render the form item that will have the form label, form control, and within that we will add the input tag with the placeholder. Then we have the form description and that's it. Then we have the button that has to be inside the form tag so that the submit event could be triggered and the type should be submit. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you in this video. I hope that this video was useful. Next we will look at the input OTP component and we will see how to install and use it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.